Hey, it's Father Roderick again. You may have seen my initial reaction to the new Rogue One Star Wars story trailer. Now it's time to analyze it. Of course, like you, I've seen this thing 100 times now. I took some notes and I want to go step by step through the trailer. Every time I will pause the video and I will share with you my thoughts. This is a very, very well done trailer. Just like all the previous trailers that we've seen for the recent Star Wars movies, this trailer has a very clear structure. Not something you may immediately recognize when you see the trailer the first few times, but the more you watch it, the more you will see that there is actually a very, very clear beginning and an end. And the theme of the beginning and the theme of the end is the same. And well, remember, there are 3 words in this trailer. The first one is the dream. The second one is power. And the third one is hope. Dream, power, hope. Let's start and watch the first part. All right, so what do we see here? What you saw was a beautiful beach, clear skies. I'm also watching my notes in case you're wondering why I'm watching the screen over there. This is the starting point of the trailer, but it's also the starting point of this entire adventure. It begins with peace. Let me show you this here. This struck me. So you see, this is also important. You see a beach. Could be paradise, blue skies, a few clouds. And then you have the rings, which almost evoke the image of a rainbow. This is a perfect place. This is a place you dream of. And then disturbing this piece is this tiny silhouette of an Imperial shuttle that is arriving. And that is about to change everything for those that live on that planet. Let's continue.
Jin, what?
There we go. That's the next scene. This is also symbolically very, very strong. We see probably something that looks like a moisturizer that we saw on Tatooine. It's a different model. In the distance, you see the shuttle that has landed and the Death Troopers in the middle. Symmetrically, you have this new villain in white. And then take a look at this strange green separation. This we will see in close-up later. It's grass. But notice how it separates the world of this guy here, which we discover later on is Jin's father, so the father of the hero of the story. This demarcation, this green line separates his world, the world that Jin is familiar with, in which he grows up, with this new world, this new horizon. And that's the first thing you notice about this image. But there is something with the weather as well. On this side, you have the weather of the beginning of the trailer. It's beautiful, the sun shines. But look what comes here, what comes in from the right. It's dark clouds. It's bad weather, and of course that's a great symbol of what is about to happen to Jin and her father. The dark clouds are literally looming over their lives, and we will see later on that it actually starts to rain. Could be a symbol of tears. And anyway, the dream is now turning into a nightmare. Let's continue.
Whatever I do it to protect you.
Again, we see the same. Let me go back here a little bit so you can see it better. This is seen from the side, of course, of the Empire. There is a tiny little refuge here. It's unclear what it is. Could be a farm or something like that. But it's very, very small against this huge background of mountains. And then again, the green separation line. And these guys here are about to cross over that border. And it's this very strong military power against basically a farm. There is no defense. And it's all very tiny and small. So this is the first time in the trailer that they introduced this concept, which will repeat again and again and again, of power versus powerlessness, of the strong and the mighty against the weak. Also, by the way, very biblical theme.
I do it to protect you. So you understand?
Beautiful, beautiful scene. First time that we see actually a younger Jin, and her father tells her something extremely important, which also in the light of The Force Awakens is what sets this movie apart from the previous Star Wars movie that we've seen. Here, Jin's father explains to her that whatever she is about to see in the future, what he will do, she has to understand that he does it to protect her. So he surrenders himself willingly to the Empire to save her. Again, I can't help but seeing a parallel with the biblical story of Jesus surrendering him deliberately to his to the powerful in order to save the world, to save the weak. And the thing is, she has to understand this.
I understand.
And she says, I understand, which is the opposite of what happens to Rey. Rey never understood why her parents left her on that planet. But here, this young girl, she understands that her father did this out of love. It's probably one of the most important moments in her young life where she realizes that there is something that could be stronger than whatever she's going to witness here. And that's the love of her father. So what happens, of course, is Jin's father is recruited to work on the Death Star by this guy. This is the first time that we see our new villain. His name is, let me see, Krennic. And he's overseeing this whole Death Star process. And again, you see, they're crossing literally the green grass, the border between his familiar life and then this danger in the future. Confrontation, close up, and of course you see her. That's the last image of what now reveals itself to be a dream. Again, think of that word, dream. So the last image that she has of her father is that he is taken away. He's now a prisoner of the Empire. And lo and behold, she wakes up a prisoner. And she is literally closed up. The future is locked. She is in the dark. The light is no longer within her reach. Very strong symbolism here. There's even a guard walking by, so we are immediately, for us, it's immediately clear that she is basically where her father hoped she would never be. This could introduce a theme in the movie of guilt. Perhaps she failed. Her father tried to protect her, and now she messed it up, and she's a prisoner. However, it's not the end of the trailer. Let's continue. So, important, Lucasfilm Ltd. This signals the fact that we've seen the first act. We've seen kind of the setup of the story. So this is a clear visual break. And now we're going to the second part of this trailer. And what I like about this trailer is that after we see the logo of Lucasfilm, kind of remembering or reminding us that it's George Lucas. He tells this story originally. This is based on his imagination, and it is immediately followed by a theme that is very dear to George Lucas himself, which is always this opposition between tradition and this, faithless empire. What we see here is what appears to be a planet, and this is kind of something we gather from previous trailers. This is like a holy planet for the Jedi. It's a very traditional planet. You can see that by the flags and everything and the old buildings. It looks a bit, oriental. This is a place where Jedi would go on a pilgrimage. However, this old traditional world is now overshadowed by this looming big threat of an Imperial Star Destroyer that is blocking the sky. It's this theme of blue skies being blocked by darkness. And then, this is a very, very significant moment in the trailer. We have an explosion. And literally, this explosion blows open the future. This is, I think, deliberately mirroring the opening, one of the opening scenes of A New Hope, where a similar explosion opens the door for Darth Vader to enter this small freighter where Princess Leia is hiding or has just actually given away the plans of the Death Star to R2-D2. So this marks the moment at the beginning of the second part of the trailer where the future is all of a sudden, with an explosion, opened. Something new is going to happen. We see stormtroopers versus the rebels, or at least versus... And this is also significant. This is the call to adventure. As you know, Star Wars movies are always structured according to the hero's story, and it looks to me as if this movie is also following some of those classic narrative beats of the Star Wars saga. This is the call to adventure. Do you want to get out of here? Is the question that is asked to Jyn, our hero. And when she accepts the call, that's when the shackles are taken off, and literally she is free to start this new phase in her life.
Our rebellion.
And then she is up against a power that is incredibly big. And that is symbolized in this picture by this massive statue of a Jedi. It kind of looks like Obi-Wan Kenobi, holding a lightsaber. The lightsaber is fractured. The thing is half covered in sand, just like these. This means the times of the Jedi are over. This was what once was a massive force against evil, has now fallen, is broken, is covered in sand, covered in time, all but forgotten. But then you see this tiny little, I think it's a U-wing fighter that flies over this statue. That is Jyn's ship. This shows you basically that she is taking up the legacy of this once powerful Jedi force. Now it's up to her and her rebel friends to fight against that same evil.
All that remains to push back the Empire.
She's looking out of the window, basically looking down on the past, also looking forward at the horizon to what she's going to bring to the universe.
I think you might be able to help us.
Yavin.
When was the last time you were in contact with your father?
What is this?
Here, she starts to discover what's truly going on. She has no idea that this had to do with her father. And this is where she learns from Mon Mothma and all the other rebels that her father was the guy who actually made the Death Star or helped build it. And so what we see here is I forgot, the voiceover that we hear when we see this huge Jedi statue broken and fallen down is the rebellion is all that is left. So basically, the Jedi are over. Now it's the time of the rebels. And they are tiny, tiny, tiny. Now, it's the theme of David versus Goliath. Very similar to what we see later on in New Hope, Luke Skywalker against this massive empire. And just like Luke Skywalker, also Jyn has not seen her father in a long, long time. And just like Luke, she doesn't realize that her father is now working for the Empire. So, very similar archetypes here at work. Children without a parent, and they discover some dark secret about their father. Then we see, let's see, how does it continue? Oh, right after this, we are going to see her father, I think. Let's see. Is this going to continue? Here we go.
It appears he is critical to the development of a super weapon.
We see literally her father in a very, very dark place. And this is when she realizes, wait a minute. If this is about my father, then this whole call to adventure becomes personal. It becomes my quest, not only to retrieve the Death Star plans, but I want to retrieve my father, which I think is a fantastic way to tell this story. The more personal it is, the more we can relate to it. What is my relationship with digital Death Star plans? Not much, you know. But this movie humanizes the quest. There we go. The Death Star rising literally over the skies of that planet. This is the looming threat of the Empire, and it's getting bigger and bigger. It's rising above the clouds even.
My father built this thing. We need to find him.
This is her acceptance of the call. This is her true mission. She wants to find her father. And now we get to see the ones that she's going to gather around her to make this happen. She can't do this by herself. Just like Luke, by himself, could not defeat the Empire. He needed his rebel friends. And friendship, of course, is what gives everybody hope and strength.
All right. How many do I need?
It's almost a trope, right? This is like we see like a short sequence of the new members of the team that are going to steal the Death Star plans, and then to symbolize this beginning of this quest, we see a ship taking off.
They are requesting a call sign. It's rogue.
This is also a very important structural moment. They're asking for a call sign, and they say it's Rogue One. From now on, their mission has a name, and thereby it has truly begun. Just like any story, even our personal life story, starts with a name giving. Well, this is the birth of let's say this rebellious quest, and it gets a name, Rogue One.
Rogue One.
There, did you see that? This is another structural moment. They have accepted the quest, they've given it a name, and this is hyperspace. And hyperspace means acceleration. This is when they literally jump into this new adventure. Boom. And versus that, what are they up against? Darth Vader. You see these are the floors, the shiny floors of the Death Star, and you see the projection of a planet. It's that same kind of dark, but of course this is supposed to evoke lava and hellfire, and you see that literally the rebels are up against a world that is totally upside down, that is the opposite of everything they stand for. Hence the inverted image. This is the shadow of Darth Vader. And the Empire couldn't be more of a contrast in any form, even here in terms of color, in terms of dark versus light, upside down versus the right way. This is Empire versus Rebels. Brilliant how they put that in the trailer.
The power that we are dealing with here.
I love that moment. This, of course, is Krennic, and he makes that same gesture that we will see Vader make later. The power. He even uses the same intonation. This is foreshadowing. Basically, Darth Vader stands on not the power of the Death Star, the power of the dark side. Tarkin, later on, will make that same gesture. It's like he's relying on the power of the Death Star, of destruction. And of course, the Death Star is massive. You see these tiny little TIE fighters against the backdrop of this massive... That's no moon. It's even bigger, you know? But Vader is always skeptical towards these technological things because he knows that the power of the dark side of the Force is much stronger than this. So let's see, how does it continue?
Is immeasurable.
Again, the power is immeasurable. This is building up the threat that these tiny groups of rebels are up against. This is all building contrast. The way they do this is genius. What are we seeing here? You may remember this panel. This is the room that we saw in A New Hope where Tarkin orders Alderaan to be destroyed. So talking about the power of the Death Star, the power of destruction, here it is. This is the symbol of that destructive power that can blow up planets. And kind of to illustrate that, there's a new planet here appearing on the screen as to tell us, you remember what this Death Star can do.
The Empire has this kind of power. What chance do we have?
If the Empire has this kind of power, what chance do we have? This is the desperation. This is almost the refusal of the rebellion. You see Mon Mothma, serenity. Even her facial expression is like she's determined. We are going to do this. But you see around her the other rebels, and then opposite to her is this other woman, and she's not convinced that this is going to work.
What chance do we have?
What chance do we have? And in the middle, separating them, is this image, this holographic projection. Where is it? It's such a beautiful image. Here it is. Of the Death Star. This is the classic scene that we see in A New Hope. We also see it in The Force Awakens. This Death Star stands between them and hope and the future. And some are doubting, just like with the apostles, some thought that Jesus was crazy to undertake what he did and they're never going to win. But it's all about the risk that you want to take because you have another power, and we're about to discover what that is.
Power. What chance do we have?
What chance do we have? This very reasonable argument against going up against the Empire is strengthened by what we see next. Stormtroopers, many stormtroopers shooting at what looks like civilians, or perhaps these might be rebels. This looks like it is on that same traditional planet, the Jedi sanctuary, and they're assisted by an ATST, and their destructive power is much bigger than the resistance of the futile resistance of these poor people here. Explosions, and then of course, against all that power, who is going to save us? Who is going to break through this? It's Jin. She appears on the scene. She sees this destruction, this death. What is she going to do? And then, fade to black. What is going to be her answer when confronted? Is she also going to be scared? Is she also going to back away like some of the rebels? No, she's not. We have hope, she says.
Rebellions are built on hope.
Rebellions are built on hope. This is her call to adventure to her friends. And we've seen the introduction of this other guy with his prosthetic leg. Almost like a new father figure, perhaps? He clearly shows, let me see, here he is, that he's been up against evil before. He's been hurt, but he's still standing, literally. And so this might be the person who inspires them all to believe in the power of hope.
Rebellions are built on hope.
See what they do? They nod. They all nod. So this time, after Jin has accepted her call, now her friends are also accepting their vocation almost to go and try to defeat this empire. Let's see if I don't skip anything in my notes. No, I think this is all, we're still on track here. So hope is the mission now. And once they've accepted, look what the trailer does now, structurally. Boom! This December. This is it. They've accepted the call. This is the seizure. This December, you will see what happens next. Stay tuned. And now we're entering part 3 of the trailer. I told you that this was very structured. There we go. This is the planet that we've seen in the teaser trailer before. It's this almost tropical, beach-like planet. And again, after the break, we see another theme that is very near and dear to George Lucas himself. And you see it in almost any Star Wars movie. It is nature versus technology. It's, this beautiful, natural, tropical planet, this paradise almost. And look what the Empire did to it. They built these huge industrial structures. This is the planet where they're building the Death Star. So it's paradise versus hell. It's heaven versus hell. Incredible how they visually do this. By the way, George Lucas wasn't the only one who did this. Think of Tolkien, another author who repeatedly does this, where this beautiful natural landscape is destroyed by the evildoers, and they are coming with their industry, destroying everything. What we see next, massive forest, and we see these small soldiers, and what they're doing is infiltrating. They're literally kind of hiding in the bushes. They can only do this because they are small. So it's what originally seemed to be against them, that they're not strong enough to go up against this empire, is now working in their favor. Again, similar to what we see in A New Hope, where Luke Skywalker with his tiny X-Wing fighter launches his missiles into this small exhaust port, the only weak spot of the Empire. Here we see something that is preluding to that.
They have no idea we're coming.
They have no idea we're coming. They're literally, see the green lush forest, and now this is the gray world of the Empire. But they are infiltrating into that darkness. They're stepping into the darkness. The doors are closing, again, introducing threat. It's almost as if they're willingly locking themselves up again. They're entering the belly of the beast, another theme that you see many times in mythology and also in the Star Wars mythology. It's like when our friends in A New Hope enter the Death Star with the Millennium Falcon. This is a similar scene. 3 of our heroes are entering this whatever dark place of the Empire.
Take hold of this moment.
Take hold of this moment. This is also beautiful. This is the first time they mentioned the Force and how the Force makes the weak strong. Those that are outnumbered make them look like bigger numbers. And it's literally what you see. You have 2 guys, 2 of our heroes, up against an army of stormtroopers, and they all go down because they don't have what the Force gives the rebels. And that is, an inner strength that is more important than the strength of all these guns.
Make 10 men feel like 100.
Make 10 men feel like 100. This is again. You have to realize how many kind of biblical themes George Lucas put into the story, and now these storytellers do the same. It's this idea that the Force makes the weak strong. It's like what you see in the Magnificat, the song of Mary when she is visiting her niece Elizabeth, and she has already been overshadowed by the Holy Spirit, and then she sings like, He makes the weak strong. He lifts up those that are powerless, and the ones that are rich and powerful, they will be defeated, basically. So very, very strong David Goliath kind of theme. Now we see a big dogfight on the dark planet. This is the final battle. We're gearing up to the how do you say that? This is the final act.
We'll take the next chance.
We'll take the next chance. This is also a beautiful, beautiful moment in the trailer. A beautiful message also of the movie. We are rebels. And in these scenes, you constantly see that the rebels are outnumbered. Small ships, big empire, a few rebel soldiers versus tons and tons of white stormtroopers. We see it here too. Tiny little X-Wing fighters and these massive structures in the skies. Explosions.
You're rebels, aren't you?
You're rebels, are you? So again, she is building upon that faith that they have, that hope is stronger than anything that the Empire can bring to the table. And hope makes you persevere. That's what I love about the message of this trailer and of this movie. Hope makes you want to try again. Even if when you're defeated, hope makes you try again and again and again. That's what rebels are about. They are never giving up. Never give up, never surrender. Although that's another movie. Boom! Huge explosion. What is crumbling here? Is this like a Star Destroyer crashing into a planet? I don't know. But it's something massive that is crumbling. And then the fantastic introduction of Vader again. Very reminiscent of his entry in A New Hope and also Empire Strikes Back. You know, imagine that this is orange and red, and you have the scene in the carbon freeze chamber. Vader walking through the mist, this looming shadow almost, and he is the cause of this cry, this desperate cry, is save the rebellion, save the rebellion. And we see here Jin's father looking up, and it looks as if he's tortured. There is rain. He is battered and bruised, which makes me think, is that what Vader discovers? Does he discover that there is a weakness in the Rebel Alliance, and that is the connection of Jin with her father. Is he going to use that against the rebels? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if this is important to the story. We see her, again, this strong connection. But what is it going to do to her when she discovers that her father is, being tortured, and who knows what's going to happen to him?
Save the dream!
Save the dream! I told you that the dream would come back. This trailer started with a dreamlike landscape. It was literally a dream of peace, of clear skies. And now the call is, save the dream. And we're being brought back to a beach. This visually kind of harkens back to the first images of this trailer. Again, blue skies, a few clouds. If you take away the ATCTs, I'm told that these are not ATATs, they're different. I think they're called ATCTs. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, if you take the battle away, this is almost like the same kind of paradise world that we see in the beginning of the trailer. This is the dream that is worth fighting for. The dream of peace. And then fantastic cliffhanger. Of course, they don't want to give it away. What's going to happen to our rebel friends? And so the final scene that we see in this trailer is this desperate run while these huge feet of the ATCTs are crashing down in the jungle. Are they going to make it? Are they going to win or not? Who is going to live? Are they going to live? Are they going to die? Who knows? But they are rebels. They're going to try even against all odds. This seems like an impossible fight. Small versus big. Weak versus the strong. Hope versus power. How is it going to end? We will discover on this Rogue One, December 16. There you go. That was my structural analysis of the trailer. I've been a bit long. I realize that. I didn't want to make this too convoluted and cut it up into small pieces. But there you go. This is my first quick structural analysis of the trailer. Again, it shows you how well these things are made and how much of a story, even a small trailer like this, what is it? 2 minutes, 37 seconds. I've been talking for a long, long time just to show you the hidden layers of the storytelling in this trailer. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and you definitely want to check out my podcasts over at Trideo.com. That's Trideo.com, Trideo.com, because if you like these kind of videos, you want to check out my audio programs as well. We're doing lots of Star Wars, Hobbit, science fiction, so many things that you may enjoy as well. So check out Trideo.com. Subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'd love to hear from you, so please, your thoughts in the comments. Thanks, and take care. May the Force be with you.